And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. As always, I'm your freshly shaved host, Joel, the only podcast host on the internet that I can name who isn't following the new OJ Simpson Twitter page.
You got eyes on OJ. Eyes on OJ, guys.
Apparently so. I wondered, I'm like, why are so many of my Twitter mutuals so interested in like following OJ? To which Matt so eloquently put it there, eyes on OJ. He's gonna do something. You gotta
He's
he's gonna do
he's
something.
getting brazen. He's like the killer in Jessica Jones season 3. He's sending the videos out, and you gotta pick out who he's gonna kill next.
See, I haven't watched Jessica Jones season three yet, even though between you and a bunch of other people, I probably should because I really like Jessica Jones. But God help Netflix for not telling me it was out. Used to be when a new Marvel show came out, it would take over the front page of
Yeah,
everything. Now they get jack
yeah.
shit.
I had to search for it. I had to go to the search bar and search for it because it wasn't on any of the front page.
Wow. It's almost like they had a nasty breakup or something, or a big falling out, and Netflix is being a little petty right now.
Just a little bit.
We'll put your show up, and we're not gonna fucking tell a soul that it's out. Hell, they arguably did more for Punisher season two than ended it with, yeah, and it's canceled.
Hmm.
Like the day after oh yeah, and it's canceled.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in case you were wondering, which man, we never got to talk about that last week, the crazy state of Swamp Thing of the DC Universe app and how that might
Jeez.
already have died on the vine.
Yeah, jeez, what a show! As well as like to find out that the show is apparently like $80 million, like for
Yep.
a season. Like that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
That's insanity, but you know what? That's also this is the old DC entertainment, Matt, that we used to know, the one that made terrible decisions all the time. What's more depressing about this is they have good quality content and stuff that fans actually want to watch and fans actually feel serviced and
Yeah,
listened to by. But it's like, yeah, sorry, we screwed up the business end of that when we
yeah,
actually got the creative end right for a change. Sorry.
yeah. Apparently, it was all because they misfiled a form, but then like the people who they were supposed to file the form to said no, that's not it. It's something else. So yeah, lots of fuckery going on there.
It's getting deeper and very fucked. Again, I had Jason Inman on last week when you weren't here, and he had an interesting insight, having actually, well, currently professionally working in television. And his thing was basically like, no, that stuff doesn't just happen. That's
Yeah,
not a huge fumble. That's not a huge botch. This was not an accidental killing of the DC Universe
yeah.
app. This was murder most
Oh,
foul.
most definitely. The app, in my opinion, was never going to succeed, especially with that AT&T buyout, and they wanted to start their own WB app and everything to combat
That's
the
what it comes
Disney
to.
stuff and everything. Yeah,
So we're basically, it's Schrodinger's app right now. It is both alive and dead at the same time. Which, man, that breaks my heart too, because they're like, hey, everyone, get pumped for the second half of season three of Young Justice. Remember, you campaigned and signed petitions for years for the show to finally be resurrected. And it was. And it was a little cheaper in places, but by and large, it was the show you wanted back again. Oh. Ooh, about that season four. You waited 5 years before. I maybe wait five more.
and not only that, they have what is it? Titan season 2 and Stargirl filming at the moment. So like, they happening? Are they just gonna be like shoveled off? And it has me worried as well for Doom Patrol, which is fucking
Yes.
amazing. And I imagine they won't be doing any more of that.
Their breakthrough work of art that was actually really, really good and that we want to see more of. Again, what about that Harley Quinn animated show they promised?
Oh yeah,
I know voices are getting recorded for that. Ron Funches is going to be in that show, and he talks about it endlessly how excited he is for that.
yeah, yeah. I forgot that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I could with all the Harley Quinn stuff we're going to be talking about this week.
Oh, we'll be talking about that, but that was old business, Matt. Now we can move on to the new business. E3 was this last week. Normally we talk about it because usually there's stuff that is pertinent to our interest, even if it's not entirely connected to comic books and superheroes. But oh boy, was there a big superhero announcement. It's the game that we've been talking about forever. We finally got to see what the Square Enix Crystal Dynamics Avengers game looked like.
Yeah, and it looks awesome. I don't care what anyone says on the internet, it looks fucking awesome.
I am much in the same boat as you, Matt. Again, we're simpatico, you and I. My big thing was I'm like, but wait, but for like the last couple of years, all you guys have been talking about is that you wanted the Avengers. Now you have it and you're not happy with it. Why? Because they don't look like the movies. That was never going to happen. Let me tell you a little thing about likeness rights.
Well, not only that, this isn't an MCU game. It's their own universe. It's the Marvel game universe or whatever they're going to end up calling it. It's not MCU.
Also, too, if we want to look at this historically, I remember fans lodging much of the same visual complaints at Injustice and at that last Spider-Man game, and I think those turned out pretty good.
That Spider-Man game, everyone's comparing it to that, and like, well, it's not going to be an open world game. It never was. Like,
no.
They're two completely different, like, animals. One's a team-based game, and the other one's a solo game that needs to be open world.
I will admit they did use the worst word when describing it, and that is, games as service, which has been the kiss of death for so many different games out there right now. And I will admit that word and the word loot boxes are words you don't want to hear. And unfortunately, one of them slipped in. The other ones are like, no loot boxes, and we promise that you'll get heroes for free. We might nickel and dime you on skins, but hey, this is par for the course. But you'll get the heroes for free. And I'm like, so far I'm liking everything I'm hearing here, and I'm liking that that every hero plays different. Hulk plays different than Iron Man, plays different than Black Widow.
Yeah, I got to see some of the leaked footage of it, and it looks really cool. It looks awesome.
I didn't get to see the leaked footage. I am jealous now. I'm not saying link me to that in our chat, Matt, but link me to that in the chat, Matt.
If it's still up.
I actually know at least one person who got to go to E3 and was, big enough to actually get invited behind closed doors, and the general consensus from this person was, hey, actually, it looks pretty good. Yeah, all the fears are unfounded.
Yeah, all the fears come from goddamn Captain America's costume, which looks fine. It looks fine.
It looks like an Elseworld costume, and I'm 90% sure, like the Spider-Man suit and like the Injustice suits, we'll get to change them anyway.
Oh, they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that.
And that's where they're going to make the money from, the costumes.
Hey man, if I can dress up Thor in his like current costume with a gold arm, I'm all for it.
I hope they put in the bad jokey ones too. I want to dress Captain America up like the original Nomad. I want 90s Thor with the stupid chest piece. I want the ugliest Iron Man suit money can buy. I want Black Widow in her original Cold War era suit. But of course, the biggest question coming off the back of this Avengers footage, where is Hawkeye, Matt? When Hawkeye's not on screen, everyone needs to ask, where is Hawkeye?
Yes, the internet collectively shat itself because apparently Hawkeye is the most important character to the team's makeup now, apparently.
Which I think has to be a rare moment in history when people actually gave a shit about Hawkeye. Man, if all you people who complained that Hawkeye didn't show up in this trailer read the last Hawkeye book, it might still be running right now.
Yeah. As well, it's like I'm really hoping that like if they introduce him in like a story element, they make him a villain.
That would be great. Him and Scarlet Witch need to come in as villains as they were in the original stories.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool, and it would make people angry because most people I don't think know that he was a villain.
No, they don't remember that. Him and Swordmaster and Trickshot and everything. Heck, let's get the whole circus of crime in there while we're at it.
That'd be cool. The characters are endless though in this. Like the amount you could have, and they've already teased stuff like Inhumans and everything.
Yes.
So I'm very excited.
I'm sure you saw the same thing that I heard, and that is, oh, hey, look, a Terrigen engine is behind all the problems here, and there's a young girl talking about how much she loves the Avengers. What's the over/under? What are the Vegas odds, Matt? That's probably Miss Marvel talking.
Oh, I actually think it is. I think there was like leaks that came out not too long ago where Miss Marvel's kind of like the POV character.
As she should be. She's an excellent POV character and someone so easy for the fan base to fall in love with because it's like, yo, she loves heroes too, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, clearly these games have an eye for the future. Why do you think Miles Morales featured so prominently in that Spider-Man game?
Exactly.
Because they're like, yo, here's a franchise here in and of themselves. It is funny though, the whole Terrigen engine thing. It's like, oh yeah, games take a long time to make, right? This one was probably developed 4 years ago when Marvel was super horny for Inhumans.
Maybe this might spark them coming back. Hopefully, I can hope. Yes,
I mean,
please.
video games do amazing things, so I mean, really, really, why not?
Yeah.
What else before we move on to more comic talk? Because I like getting a little game talk in here too. What did you like from E3 this year, Matt? Because I was conflicted. I swore I wasn't gonna watch it because Sony wasn't showing up, and I'm like, well, fuck it. I own a Sony console. It's an incomplete show if Sony doesn't show up. And then of course I fell into the hype because I'm a horrible garbage person who follows trends. And I'm like, oh, people are talking about it on the Twitter machine. Keanu Reeves showed up. Oh God, I need to watch now.
I don't know, because like a lot of it was a really lackluster show this year.
It really, like, even if Sony did show up, it still would have been a pretty lackluster year.
Like I put that down to because this is the final year of this current generation. Next year we're getting the PlayStation 5 and that new Xbox Scarlet or whatever it's called.
Which I don't want. The PlayStation 4 is fine. Current generation consoles are fine. What more could you bring to this?
Hey, if what I've heard about the PS5 is true, I can't fucking want it.
But yes, do continue.
Yeah. So it was kind of disappointing, but like, because it's obviously the last E3 of this generation, so everyone's like, we'll show everything off next year when we know more about the next generation stuff. But like, all of the stuff we saw was like cinematics, and even like the Avengers stuff, like it was all like cinematics or like highly controlled gameplay that isn't really gameplay. It's just more cinematics.
You had stuff like your Cyberpunk, which we were already hyped for Cyberpunk. They didn't need to do anything else to get us more excited. But then they're like, hey, everyone's favorite person, Keanu Reeves, is in this now.
I would very much like to see some actual gameplay of that game. Like, we got some like a year ago, but like that's a year in game development time. The game could probably be completely different.
Yeah, let's see how it looks now, please. But again, I think CD Projekt Red knows. They're like, oh, we got you by the short and curlies, nerds. We gave you The Witcher. Now we're giving you Cyber Witcher.
It does look really cool. Yes.
Indeed. That one looked fun. That new horror game, what was it? Ghostland, Ghostwire.
Yeah, again, a game I want to see, like, because of the people involved, like the people behind like Evil Within and Resident Evil. I'm really interested in it.
Plus, everyone fell in love with the lady who it's her game and her original thing. It's like, ooh, and she studied under who, you say? Ooh, and there's all these great YouTube videos of her just being wholesome and great online. Well, the internet has a new girlfriend now, everybody.
But yeah,
let's buy her game.
It does look really cool. It looks really weird, which I like in horror games.
Indeed. That good Japanese weird.
Yeah, we had that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I thought it looked fine, if ultimately a little generic, like it came out of the Star Wars video game generating machine.
Well, see, this is the thing. They showed that demo, and that demo was pretty shit. But apparently the one they showed, which was an extended version of that, was like heaps better. Like, it showed off more of like the stuff, like you've got this like galaxy map thing, you could travel to all these planets, and you can do this with your lightsaber, and you can control these type of vehicles. Showed off all this like really cool stuff. I'm like, well, why wasn't that in that? Because like, yeah, the trailer was just like a guy who it was probably like his first time playing, even though they said it wasn't, but he wasn't very good at it.
No, he kept getting hit, and I'm like, is he purposely getting hit to show like, no, this is real footage, this is really what happens, or is he just like legitimately not good at playing this?
Yeah, I did like that the combat is kind of Sekiro-y in that way.
Very. You gotta break down your opponent's guard before you can lightsaber stab, which makes sense because a lightsaber should always be an instant kill, shouldn't it?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to using that sort of stuff, and some of the platforming looks pretty cool.
Looks very Prince of Persia, which we have not had in a very long time.
Well, it was also made by the guys who made Titanfall, and wall running is like their thing.
Oh, their bread and butter, of course. That makes sense. It's funny, too. Someone said this to me, the main guy, the main character, that's Jerome from Gotham.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's shocking. That's surprising. Good for him. He seems like a good young actor. I'm happy he's getting work. And oh,
Yeah.
Saw Gerrera was in it.
Yeah, Saul Guerrero was in it. I'm really hoping though that the character isn't just like, because we've had characters from that era
Mm,
basically be the exact same character. Kanan.
yeah. Which fuck? Can we just make a Kanan game? I would happily just play Kanan from around this
Look, you
time.
could actually do that because these comics covered this era like really well, and you could just have him play through the comics and stories between them.
Plus, you get Freddie Prinze Jr. in there, and who
Yeah,
doesn't love Freddie Prinze Jr.?
yeah.
I think the thing though at the end of it is like this looks fine. This looks like this will do. This will show that yes, you can actually make Star Wars games that are profitable again, if that was ever a question. But I think what we can all agree is like, well, it's no KOTOR though.
Yep.
Where's my KOTOR, guys who own the Star Wars license? I have all this money burning a hole in my pocket. Give me a fucking KOTOR, please. No, I guess this is fine, but KOTOR, maybe? Just give us something. Is it harder to make a KOTOR now because Disney is trying so hard to rein in the continuity, being like, no, we want to make movies for the next decade. We want to make sure nothing contradicts.
I have to think that is one of the reasons. Another reason is probably maybe they just don't want to put the time in. We'll just do it, set it in this time period. Everyone knows this time period is good.
As we've seen with Cyberpunk there, ambitious RPGs with many choices and many branching paths take a lot of time and effort to make.
Yep.
Which is a shame because those are often some of my favorites. Speaking of RPGs, we got to see some more footage of the Final Fantasy VII remake there. I like what they're doing with the combat system. I like I have to fill up a gauge with hack and slashing if I want to make it an actual turn-based RPG.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I love that it's like a complete like rebuild of the game. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like some shitty remaster or something. It's a complete remake. So
Yeah.
like everything has been remade, which is really great. I'm looking forward to that. I did like that. Just talking about that when it was announced at that Square Enix panel, I love that every other game on that Square Enix panel was like a remaster or a port or
It's
like
funny.
something that people don't even want. Like Final Fantasy was 8.
Oh yeah. We're remastering 8 too while we're at it. It's like, really? Okay, thank
They're
you. I
remastering
guess.
it, but they're not doing as good as a job. It's just like a slight graphical remaster.
Slight graphical upgrade. Hey, you can relive all the fun stuff with Squall and his Gunblade and Cypher and all
Yeah, all
those
these
other fun
memorable
characters.
characters.
Yeah, you got them all. Also, here's some Kingdom Hearts DLC. Kingdom Hearts 3. Sorry about Kingdom Hearts 3. Sorry that didn't answer all your questions. Sorry that was kind of a weak ending, but here's more of it. You can play as other characters now. Okay. But it looks like you can only play them in the final boss fight, which is weird because I thought that's what it was going to do. It's like, ooh, I get to play other characters now. No, you just get to play the main guy. This is probably a feature we had to take out. Those last boss fights are kind of disappointing, ultimately.
Yeah.
Considering how good the ones in 2 were. But what else was there? Watch Dogs Legions actually kind of surprised me because I'm like, oh god, another Ubisoft sequel. Here we go. But you can be anyone though. There's no set main character and there's permadeath and it's set in London. I'm a sucker for games that take place in London. All right.
Yeah, I like the change of not just city but like country.
Yeah.
I think that's rather interesting, especially with what's going on in Europe at the moment with like the Brexit thing. They were sure to mention that.
They were, but I like a week before they're like, Ubisoft, we don't like doing politics in our game. Oh, bull fucking shit, you don't.
Yeah,
You
no, they do.
goddamn, you French Canadian liars, and I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, it looks cool. I love the idea that you can take control of like different people that have different traits. So like in the trailer, they took control of like a retired old lady who was like an assassin, which I think is really cool. It looks pretty cool. I'm very wary of Ubisoft's presentations because their games
Yeah,
never look as good as they are.
no, they don't. They're always big lies.
Yeah, so I'm very, very wary.
I really liked Watch Dogs 2, but I never beat Watch Dogs 2 because there was a freaking hacking bomb puzzle where it'd be like 3 minutes to disarm an entire room, and I never got past it. I must have tried it a dozen times, and I got so furious I just left it, even though up to then I had actually really been enjoying it.
It was I think I finished it. I honestly can't remember. I should really play it again. But like I do really like it. I like the setting in San Francisco. The music tracks were really cool. The stuff you could do with the character was really cool. It was a
There was
really
a lot
good
of
game.
style, like 3D
Yeah.
printing your own weapons, and
Yeah.
you were kind of like these cyber Robin Hoods going after like mini bosses who are like, yeah, fuck that guy, and clearly people drawn from like the real world headlines. It's like, okay, here's the guy that represents Scientology, and here's the guy who represents Martin Shkreli. Don't these guys suck? And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, they do. But yeah, tell you what, if we're both revisiting it around the same time, I think there was also a multiplayer component where you could take on gang hideouts with a friend. So if we're both going to replay it, let's do that. So we don't have to play with mouth breathers online. You know the ones. But yeah, so was there anything else from E3 worth talking about? Oh, John Berthal came out with a doggy.
Yeah. For some reason to promote the new Ghost Recon, which looks good, but again, it's a Ubisoft game.
Ghost Recon Wildlands looked great when they showed it, but boy, did it get a major downgrade. And also in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, question. So you're selling this new game by selling Bernthal as the main new charismatic villain, who is not the character we play as, but you're putting all the money into marketing this character. That only tells me that the character we are going to play is pretty bland and forgettable.
Oh yeah, I think it's literally the same character you play in Wildlands, which is like Mr. McCustomize.
How about you put all that time and energy you put in the villain into, someone else? Just saying. Can I play as John Bernthal? No, then why did you spend all the money on getting John Bernthal?
You know what there'll be? There'll be a skin you'll have to pay for, and because they did that in Wildlands. You can get all these different
For
skins.
years.
You can play as the Predator. You can play as Dutch from Predator and stuff like that.
You want to talk about games as a service? That Ghost Recon game there was a total service, like for 5 years. Here's new skin packs and here's new DLC, so we can nickel and dime you forever. And the core game just doesn't play that good.
It feels so empty. Like there's stuff in it, but it's always the same stuff.
It feels like something that I would have rented from Blockbuster back in the day and beaten in a weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
And just like all this empty space, they make you go forever in a huge map that has nothing in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really annoying. And I'm like, not every game needs to be a big open world, guys.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it does, though. Totally does. Need to fill a big empty world. But yeah, that was your little E3 news there. All the stuff that, pertained to us and all the stuff we thought was interesting.
Yeah, and kind of lackluster show.
All things considered. But I mean, like you said, it's the last show before a new generation. Sony didn't even show up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still excited for Pokemon, though. That might actually make me buy a Switch. Where I'm like, wait, big open world Pokemon, and the Pokemon get big. Okay. But then they tell me you can't actually get all 800 in this one. I'm like, oh, bullshit.
Microtransactions
For the Pokemon. We'll literally sell them to you. Tell you what, I was so interested in that. I'm like, okay, look, I will re-download Pokemon Go on my phone, and let's see from here. Because if I put them from the Go to the Home to the Sleep to the new game, right? Is that how you're gonna make me work this Nintendo? Because I'll do it. Also, the new one is in Europe, and I like the female character there has one of those little fascinator hats. And that's just fun. All right, then I guess we can move on to our next topic here. Here's a story that just broke just before we even started recording. Alex Ross, beloved legendary comic book artist, is teasing a brand new project, which he would seek to imply is a comic book continuation of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films.
Yeah, very very strange. I only saw that. I only saw that 4 thing, and then later on, while I was away, I saw like the Alex Ross teasing the hashtag Spider-Man 4. So, yeah, that's very strange.
The timing of this is really strange. Where I'm like, really now we're gonna do a comic continuation of the Raimi Spider-Man? Okay, this feels like something like some bean counter was looking at the analytics, and it's like, oh, people are talking about the Raimi movies a lot right now. Maybe we could try and make some money off that.
Yeah, it's very strange. I don't particularly want to see that.
I mean, it's a cool idea. At least they got some truly A-plus talent in it in Alex Ross, so at least it'll look nice.
Is he drawing it or is he doing covers?
Is he just doing he's done a lot of Spider-Man covers before, so I wouldn't be shocked if he just did the covers. But man,
Yeah.
if he did the interiors too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that book would look amazing.
Again, we've literally been working on this one since the last time Spider-Man 4 didn't come out, which is why it took so long. But boy, does it look nice, though. You know, part of me almost wishes that this does take off so we can see comic book adaptations of a bunch of other superhero sequels that never got made.
I would love that. There's like a bunch of writers who had like pictures. There was like one where like some guy wanted to do Batman 66 meets like the Reeves Superman.
Yeah.
Or the George Reeves Superman or the Christopher Reeves Superman. All those we could get like Schumacher's third Batman film where he's had Jeff Goldblum as the Scarecrow
yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. All this
Batman
really cool
Triumphant,
stuff. Yeah.
Madonna as Harley Quinn. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Oh God.
I fully support this weird ass endeavor. We can do all those Superman stories that never got off the ground. We can do the Tim Burton Superman Forever.
Yeah, the J.J. Abrams one.
The
Matthew Vaughn one where he apparently grew up on Krypton and was Superman.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an odd. It sounds like everyone's got a freaking Elseworld pitch for Superman. And, speaking of Superman, that actually dovetails quite nicely into our next topic. We got some more artwork hyping up that Joshua Williamson Superman-Batman series, where, of course, it's going to be spinning out of the pages of the Batman Who Laughs, and the idea is a bunch of heroes get Jokerized, essentially, and the first villain we see, the one who's going to be leading the charge, is the Shazam Who Laughs.
Yeah, which is interesting because I was always under the impression, at least from what I remember about reading his old comics, that like the like wisdom of Solomon and all that sort of stuff made it so that he can't be brainwashed or like is susceptible to like toxins and stuff, which is what the Batman Who Laughs stuff is. It's the toxin.
It's a serum, yeah.
So it's interesting.
The answer to that is I don't know. Maybe it's dark multiversal serum, so it plays by its own rules.
Or it could also be like a fake out, and this could actually be the dark multiverse version of Shazam, not actually Shazam.
It would be funny to turn and corrupt Shazam right now of all times when Jeff Johns is working overtime to make that book like such a sweet family affair. To be like, okay, now he's a gross monster.
Yeah.
There's a couple stories we're going to be talking about this week that actually feel like they're kind of middle fingers to Jeff Johns, actually.
Little bit.
We'll talk about that a bit more. But yeah, Shazam Who Laughs could be cool. You know, again, I trust what Joshua Williamson will do here, and he's building on a great story and what Snyder has been working on.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's being shepherded by Snyder, which is like really important because I think he's probably just given him the basis for the story and just told Joshua to do what he wants with it.
Yeah, and there's going to be more too. I hope they keep them unexpected like this, because obviously we didn't. We haven't really seen many evil counterparts, multiversal counterparts of Shazam. I wonder what other heroes they would do. I would like a Green Arrow version. I want the Green Arrow that laughs.
That would be pretty cool.
I wonder what that would look like. I want the Green Arrow that laughs. What other heroes don't get a lot of love or a lot of play who would make interesting evil counterparts?
We don't really get a lot of Aquaman ones.
No, we did get the Drowned.
Yeah, which everyone really liked.
Did they? Because that was my least favorite one, I think.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, everyone hated it when it was announced because apparently boob people can't be evil Aquaman. But like then people really liked it, and then yeah, it was kind of like a middling sort of thing. But I'd like to see like more evil counterparts because that one wasn't really an evil counterpart. It was just another Bruce Wayne.
That one was a weird one, but liked the costume, and I liked the idea of the gender flipped universe. Actually, I'm surprised they don't do more stories like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else we got going on here? Ooh, we got a brand new Black Label book announced. Matt, last time you were here, we talked about that Harley Joker book. Well, we're getting another Harley Joker book. This one is called Harleen, and it's going to be retelling the origins of Harley Quinn, which is an interesting well to go back to. And I think the New 52 really fucked with her origin to the point they don't even talk about her origin anymore.
Well, not only that, like Mad Love, like said everything that needs to be said.
What new things are you going to bring to this? Because that story is pretty damn definitive.
Yeah. Also, this is the second, as you mentioned just before, the second Harley Quinn book, and both of them
Yep.
are origins.
Yep. Now it's back.
Does no one at DC have an original idea?
Apparently not. This is an origin. The other one's a reimagining of a whole new story for them.
They're going
But
to be
yeah,
both.
wow.
They're both going to be origins.
They're both going to be origins in their own way. Man, I bet you can hold your head high this week, Matt, when people kind of came at you in the past weeks for saying Black Label is just a Batman imprint. Now it's like, no, they got all these other books they stopped talking about. Here's 2 new Harley Quinn books. More Batman adjacent characters, huh?
Yeah. When they announced the brand, it was said it was going to be a brand where people can be creative and open, because it's a more mature brand. It's not in continuity, although it kind of is in some books, but not in continuity mostly. So you can do whatever you want with different characters, and it's it lends itself to characters like Constantine, Swamp Thing, Sergeant Rock, Jonah Hex.
The darker edged ones anyway.
All of these characters, things from like Vertigo, now that Vertigo doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah, that's the big rumor too, that they might be axing Vertigo soon, which again, I think this is indicative of a much bigger problem with DC and Warner Brothers, and that is they don't fucking know what to do with their imprints anymore. You got Deceased that came out. That's not even under the Black Label
That
imprint.
should
It should be, but it isn't.
That another one that should be under there, but it's just all over the place. And again, it's not Black Label anymore. It's just Batman label, Bat Label.
Yeah, I mean, everything that could have gone wrong with that imprint went wrong with it. They tripped at the starting line, got nervous, and now they don't know what they're doing anymore.
Yeah, and as well, they're retroactively going back and putting things under that brand, like Batman White Knight, another Batman book, is now under the Black Label brand, even though it came out just before the Black Label started, so they could have put it under it anyway.
I think they wanted to put King's Mr. Miracle under there, and I think they already put whatchamacallit, All-Star Superman and Dark Knight Returns under there, which again, it's like, come on, every comic fan owns a copy of this book. You're not going to move more by putting the Black Label sticker on it.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain Watchmen is under there now as well.
Yeah, which is a weird one to put under there, but okay.
Yeah, it's just so strange that they've done literally nothing but the exact same things with this brand. I knew from the start it was just going to be Batman stuff, because that's what Elseworlds turned into.
Yeah, after a while, it's like, apparently, hey, writers, endless possibilities, endless freedom. You can write whatever you want. We just want to write Batman. Okay.
Yeah, again, why do all these people have Batman stories? Why don't they have, like I said before, Constantine stories or Jonah Hex stories? All these stories that would be really cool under this brand and utilize it really well.
Probably because they wanted to make money, and Batman always makes money. I will say, though, of this Harleen book that they've talked about, I'm probably going to read this, sadly, before I read the next book we're going to talk about, and that's a Harley and Ivy miniseries coming from Jody Houser. Not because I have anything wrong with the characters or the writer. In fact, I think Jody Houser is great. My problem is this is spinning out of the pages of Heroes in Crisis, and this is basically the, okay, try and fix these characters, please, after King broke them.
Yeah, that's another thing with another one that's spinning out of it that we'll talk about a little later on. But like the writers and artists have come out and said, not specifically said, but their words imply that we're doing these series to basically fix whatever the fuck King did in that book.
Yeah, sorry, we broke your favorite toy. We'll try and fix them as best we can. Because again, if you remember when that story was finished, Poison Ivy died but came back to life as a plant woman because of the green.
Yeah, and now she looks like a skinned human.
Yeah, we gotta fix that.
What would even the book be even about? Because these two Like, what were they even doing in Heroes in Crisis anyway?
Nothing.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's described as a road trip, and I'm like, okay, cool. You're going back to like the Paul Dini-esque well when they're, like crazy slapstick friends going on adventures. All right, I can kind of see that. It hits me too. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Didn't Tom King also put Harley in her original costume for one issue? Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
And then they did nothing with it afterwards.
yeah. What was the reasoning behind that again?
To pop sales.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah. To get
Hey,
all those covers with her in it.
yeah, hey everyone, the original costume is back. Aren't you excited? Yes. Is it going to stick around? No. Because apparently we're still married to the Suicide Squad design where it's Harley, only she doesn't dress like herself. Whatever. And that's not the only book we got spinning out of Heroes in Crisis. We also have a brand new Wally West miniseries coming to us courtesy of the comic multiverse and Cape Joel's biggest fan, Scott Lobdell.
Couldn't pick a worse writer. Like, do you remember the last time he wrote these characters?
Yes, in Titans, and it was terrible, remember?
Terrible.
And everyone, not only was it bad, but it was the perfect codifier when he was writing Teen Titans and Teen Titans-centric characters for how bad the New 52 could be. Yeah, I remember that. Also, remember when Dick Grayson got shot in the head for no reason and lost his memory and no one wanted to write that? They gave it to Scott Lobdell. And when King ruined Wally and no one wanted to write about him, they gave it to Lobdell. It's almost like he takes the projects no one else wants. It's almost like he's Dan DiDio's own personal hitman or something.
Yeah, and again, the series to me is again shot in the face to Jeff Johns, because it sees Wally going on a cosmic adventure to find out who messed with his mind. I mean, he knows who messed with his mind. He's very clear. He knows who. He knows who. He knows. We've known for like 2 years now.
Also, I like to, we're already passing the buck where it's like, so we just had a really important story about depression and coming to terms with your problems and making mistakes. Nah, Space Guy did it.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to have my hands washed because the Spaceman did it.
See, that's another thing. Like at the end of Heroes in Crisis, he's been locked away.
Yes.
For like murdering and murdering and framing people and whatnot.
Yes.
So is he just gonna like get out of prison?
He's gonna leave and come back because the rumor I heard, the skinny I heard, is that just because they're having this stopgap miniseries in between to clear Wally's name in the eyes of the fans, still doesn't mean we're not gonna get the Azzarello Suicide Squad closer to that movie with Wally on it. Like that's gonna happen. Azzarello is writing and has been writing that, so you're gonna get it. But you're also going to get this mini in between to try and get you to shut up and stop throwing toilet paper at DC's house.
Oh, jeez.
One.
If anything, this series will make you throw more toilet paper because of Scott Lobdell. Like, no.
What blows my mind about this is like, geez, if only there was someone working at DC right now who works with the Flash a lot and has written about Wally and did a much better job grappling with his sadness and his lost family. If only there was a guy, his name rhymes with Schmosh Schmilliams. If only he could come in and write. No, Schmosh Schmilliams couldn't do it. Okay.
Yeah, either that or they wouldn't let him.
Or they wouldn't let him. I could honestly see him just washing his hands too, being like, nope, I'm not going to fix this. I'm going to concentrate on what I'm doing over here now.
Yeah, it's like no one could unfuck that.
No one could unfuck that. This is one stick that can't be unstuck, home skillet. I mean, eventually it is. Like every bad decision in comics is eventually lessened or fixed in some way or another. But the fact that they're already doing such a big 180 on it, it's like, okay, we let Tom King do whatever he wants. That was a bad idea. How do we get this train back on track and quick?
Yeah, it also has me wondering, like, is this also, like, the book wasn't good and people seem to realize that now, but, like, is that also part of, like, this whole thing with him finishing up on Batman and, like, basically ditching comics to go work on a movie and a coming TV series?
I don't think it's so much they ran him out of the industry as like he was already making the move to leave and this was just kind of serendipitous where it's like, well, okay, I was going to leave anyway, so I guess I might as well burn all these bridges with the fans while I'm here. Maybe that's why he got so bold in those last couple issues where Roy Harper Arsenal, who is also still dead, basically just yelled at the reader and said, "What have you ever done with your life? Maybe you should get off the couch, person reading this comic. I'm gonna go write for Hollywood. Fuck you." Because again, in that one particular issue, it feels really, really angry Heroes in Crisis, where like Tom King is just talking to the reader through the character about how unhappy he is.
Well, it's like that most recent Batman book. Like, as I said in there, it feels like the last 5 or so issues of that, plus the last couple of Heroes in Crisis, that were like the point where he found out he's going to be moving on. So he's like, well, fuck all of this. I'm going to make fun of the reader and everything now. I'm just going to, like,
Burn it down.
Yeah, burn it all to the ground.
Oh man, we didn't get to talk about that. Okay, look, we can't get too wrapped up in this because we have 2 more stories, but let's talk about this briefly. That last Batman issue, holy shit, where it's an entire issue where Tom King has to explain himself and what's going on. We joked on this show. Brain's behind everything. He's Palpatine. He's behind it all. Only to have Tom King come out with a straight face, like, Bane is behind it all. He's been behind everything. Even the stuff he couldn't possibly have been behind, he was actually behind.
Well, it's not the stuff he could have been behind it. The problem is with all the variables of, like, things he would never even, like, have any control over. And it all just worked out.
Matt, look, Bane is a super genius who pulled off the most complex, layered, focused plan of all time because he is the best. And he's the best. He's the Neil Breen of supervillains. He's the best. He's the best at everything, and he knew it was going to work. What about all that stuff he wasn't there for? Especially the stuff he wasn't there for.
Not only that, goddamn Thomas Wayne's Batman is, like, working with him because reasons. We still don't have a reason for that.
Oh man, Thomas Wayne basically just cuts the nuts off his son when you find it, which again, Tom King pulls the same trick again. Ooh, here's an internal monologue. You think it's Batman talking. Nah, it was someone else. He's pulled that trick like 3 times.
Yeah.
You don't get to keep doing it. And like literally Thomas Wayne's just like, yeah, my son's a punk ass bitch, isn't he?
Yeah, and like, wow, this really, again, shitting on Jeff Johns and his button stuff. It's like, This is not how it was in the button.
Thomas Wayne's like, my son's a punk ass bitch. He doesn't actually love his sidekicks or anything. They're just soldiers in his war. He's also really horny, which is why he's totally gung-ho and down to clown for Catwoman all the time, every time, even when it makes no sense, and that's always going to get him in trouble. He's obsessive. He's a jerk, yet my son sucks.
Let's kill him.
Like, let's kill him. And again, too, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot too that Tom King actually doesn't like. There was a lot of stuff early on where it seemed like Tom King secretly didn't like Batman, and now that's coming out through Thomas Wayne. But man, that issue, man, I could only be reminded of the bit from Simpsons when they're all drinking Grandpa's tonic and all like, leaving their kids during the day, and they put together the string theory board, and they're like, okay, so, under the supervision of the reverse vampires and the saucer people, they're eliminating the meal of dinner as all part of a nefarious plot. We're through the looking glass here, people. And I'm like, that's literally what Tom King wrote here.
Oh, we're through the looking glass, and then he smashed that glass over our head.
Yeah, really. He freaking just spiked it into the ground and did an end zone dance. But man, seriously, that issue is some hot garbage, and I love it even more. Mitch Gerards came out on Twitter and said, "Hey, so this cool cover we solicited?
I was going to talk to you about that."
Yeah, where it's Batman in like army fatigues, and he's got like one of those Middle Eastern scarves, and it's like, oh, this is kind of interesting. That's a cool image. How the fuck are we gonna get there that Batman just ditches his costume and starts dressing like a soldier, only for Mitch Gerards to come out and say, yeah, so that cover's not coming out anymore because it no longer reflects the story. So,
like, oh, you're rewriting the last couple of issues.
Which, here's the thing. Is he rewriting it, or did someone take it away from him to rewrite?
Hopefully someone took it away. Hopefully now editorial is getting involved, and they're like, what the hell, how did all this get past us?
That's the thing. I think, we've joked that, editorial was asleep at the wheel. They have woken the sleeping giant, and now they're like, wait, you want to do what? You said what? But man, that's I don't even have words anymore.
Yeah, I joked about it on Twitter, but I still firmly believe that the phantasm that's being introduced is going to be Bane.
Oh God, I forgot about that too. The
Yeah,
Phantasm. Oh
yeah.
my God. So okay, so his next big series, his next 12 issuer, which shit, for all we know, might be good because he writes better in 12 issues, but I don't want to fucking read it at this point. I'm so sick of and done with his Batman. They announced that the villain will be the Phantasm in their first canon appearance.
Yeah, and it was fun. I was having conversations on Twitter with people about this, and no joke, they probably got the series like beat for beat, where she's gonna be an ex-lover of Bruce, like in the movie he's gonna have proposed to her or be engaged to her, and it's gonna all come back in this like weird jealousy thing.
Right.
Yeah.
How dare you move on from me, Bruce?
Yeah, or it'll either be that or it'll be Catwoman getting angry that he proposed to someone before her.
Right. I am your angel of death, which again, it's like, okay, so there's a reason the Phantasm was never touched because that movie was really goddamn good and everything. So you better have something equally as good if you're gonna do this.
Yeah, that rips off the mask and it's Bane
So,
under the Phantasm mask.
it was me, Bane, all along.
You tried to marry Bane.
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually dressed in drag for all those years as Renee Beaumont, whatever, just to try and get you, because that's how interested I am in ruining you, Batman. And I broke you. Aren't you broken? I'm shocked, but I'm not broken. You're broken. And then Bane just declares victory and just runs away into the night, having beaten Batman once again. But again, we talked about weird little middle fingers to Jeff Johns. Here's another one for you. It's announced that the Legion of Superheroes will be coming back in the pages of Brian Michael Bendis' new Millennium storyline, which we talked about the last time you were on here. It's a future thing involving Batman and the Legion of Superheroes, and just already my eyes are glazing over. I'm like, okay, Bendis, Legion, yeah.
Well, not only that, they're gonna first appear in his Superman run.
Right, and they have brand new costumes, which people were upset about the new costumes.
Yeah, they're fine. They reflect what they are, who they are. It's fine. But
I feel strongly one way or the other. I do not.
the thing that I'm guaranteed will happen is that Superboy was aged up, so he can go with the Legion, and we can get Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes again.
Or not, or he'll just go off with them so Bendis doesn't have to write about Superboy anymore.
Yeah, but someone else might.
That's another bus he can put him on, never to be seen again.
Which really confuses me, because people were mad at that, and I'm like, wait, so you're mad that Bendis won't write this, but then you're mad when he writes it as well.
It is like the ultimate lose-lose proposition, isn't it?
Yeah, and as well as like it kind of, I said on Twitter, it makes sense, like, because like John's book, like Super Sons and Adventures of the Super Sons, never sold very well. No, very many sold.
Fan favorites, critical darlings, but no, they never made big.
You put him with the Legion, which is a big like brand. People really know the Legion. I think they are. People know who they are. People are excited that they're coming back, or at least what I've seen.
Indeed, they have a cult following that cannot be denied, but Secret Six has a cult following too, and that couldn't keep that book alive for longer than 11 issues. So I don't know, man. I again, to bring it back to what I said, how this feels like a weird middle finger to Jeff Johns if we're to meta read the situation. But Jeff was super interested in bringing the Legion of Superheroes back. He made them and Saturn Girl a huge part of Doomsday Clock. It seems like if anyone was going to write about them, it would be him. In fact, from what I heard, when he was running the company, had a stranglehold on those characters. That and Shazam and the JSA in a little box. You're saying, don't touch these, I'm going to write them.
Yeah, it's very strange what's happening over there at the moment, because we've got like obviously Doomsday Clock, which is 2 issues away from ending. We've got like the stuff with Scott Snyder doing like, oh, this person created the universe, all that sort of stuff. We've got Bendis doing stuff now with the Legion. It just seems like they're just like ripping it all away from him and just like, oh, we'll give it to all these people.
I don't know who it is, Didio probably, is being really vindictive right now. You get that, and then you get Heroes in Crisis basically being like the new 50 or the DC Rebirth era wasn't as good as you thought it was.
I mean, it
Like
was, but yes.
it was, but like that being the subtext of that
Yeah,
story where it's like DC Rebirth was stupid, Hope is stupid,
yeah.
is what it is. And then you get this news, and then you hear, hey, Scott Snyder is actually going to be bringing back the Justice Society of America in the pages of Justice League, which again is like, but that sounded like something Jeff Johns wanted to do. He made them a huge part of Doomsday Clock. You would figure if anyone would write them first, it would be him. What an odd thing to
Did
do.
you see like that he did a when that was announced? He did like a an interview with some website, and they actually asked him like, oh, is like what's the deal with this and like Doomsday Clock and everything, and the quote boils down to basically Snyder saying that like Doomsday Clock isn't canon. But then apparently they went back and they had it. The PR had him edit that quote so it reflects that he just doesn't say that. Like he had to retract that to say it kind of does. So yeah, it's probably not
Uh-oh.
canon. It's probably not canon now.
That's amazing. It's like, well, Jeff, you took too long. We had to rewrite it too many times, too many power struggles. We have to say it's not canon. We're also no word or mention of the Watchmen since that story.
Well, that's the thing I think Jeff did that actually helps it. Whereas this story takes place a year before everything that's happening in comics at the moment.
Right.
So they could mention it, but yeah, they need to have that build up like they were originally having in the Rebirth era.
I am dying to know the particulars behind the scenes. Like this should have been such a slam dunk. How did this all fall apart?
Yeah. Oh, we won't know for like years, and if Jeff Johns ever leaves DC or ends up going to work for Marvel, we'll probably learn something there. Or if Gary Frank says something.
Yeah, really. Let's all go to the bar and get Gary Frank super fucking drunk so he can tell us. I probably should have telling you this, but here's the thing. Dad eats babies.
I believe it.
He said it. A drunk Frank never lies. But yeah, I am really wanting to know because clearly this book had so many things affecting it outside the story: power structure, corporate mergers, old vendettas. Does that not seem like this was like some Game of Thrones shit happening in the background?
Yeah, yeah, it does. It really does. Like moving all the chess pieces and stuff, and
They keep denying that the book was ever rewritten. I'm like, then why did it take you so long for it to come out if this shit wasn't massively rewritten at
yeah.
some
Oh
point?
yeah, it was totally rewritten. It's still good. It's still good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's plainly obvious it was rewritten.
And again, we'll see in 2 issues, but I'm going to put a little theory right here, and we can all refer back to this if I'm right or wrong, and I know people will because this is the internet, and of course they do. I strongly feel that when Doomsday Clock is done, they're going to put Dr. Manhattan and all those related characters in a little box, and they're going to send that box away so we can't touch it, and so no one else can touch it for a bit.
Of course they're gonna do that.
Which makes me think too, I'm like, you guys are acting so weird. Did you like lose the rights to this at some point? Like what is even going on? Doesn't it feel like they like lost the rights halfway through or something? So they're like, okay, we gotta do it, but we gotta dance around it too.
Yeah, yeah, or like yeah, they got spooked or something, or Alan Moore came to the offices and smeared pig's blood all over everything or something.
I'm going to put a curse on you.
Yeah.
Is what I'm going to do.
Let live bats out in the offices or something.
A bunch of night crawlers come out from under his beard and start fighting people. If you keep writing about the Watchmen, I swear to God, or whatever snake deity I believe in, or if you keep writing, I will become more powerful than you could ever imagine. I like my Alan Moore morphed into Michael Caine a little bit by the end. Master Bros, just out, Master Bros. But yeah, so that's the news, everyone. Some interesting goings on. Just man, I'm shocked they announced so many goddamn new books this week. You would think it was Comic-Con or something.
Yeah, well, it was a solicitation, so I think they kind of had to.
Big solicitations, yeah, and we haven't even gotten the Marvel solicitations yet because those ones always come out late, so we don't even know what they're doing
Yeah, oh
next.
god, Spider-Man shit probably.
Yeah, yeah, more Absolute Carnage, which looks good because it's spinning out of Donny Cates stuff, and I like what Donny Cates is doing. I mean, War of Realms, for as big as they built it for Jason Aaron, it's kind of what's the word? It's kind. I don't want to use the word underwhelming. It's a chill. It's a chill event ultimately, despite
It's
the whole world being invaded.
it's pretty whelming.
Yeah, it's very. That is a good word. It's not underwhelming. It's not overwhelming. It's a pretty whelming event, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a big summer event like it
No.
should be. The world's fucking ending. Yeah.
To think that Aaron wrote way more epic stories and way more epic event quality stories just with Thor and just with Thor's cast. It's kind of shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
And at only 6 issues too, it's like, well, fuck, you're almost done.
Yeah, one more issue.
I mean, thank you for keeping it short, but and I mean, all the tie-ins have been pretty solid, but still.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess with that we can hop on into what we read this week, and it was a pretty big, meaty week.
It was. It really was.
Where would you like to start, Matt?
Let's start with DC's Event Leviathan.
Yeah, or get you up to speed, all you people who haven't been reading, because that's basically all this was.
Yeah, this was a getting everything ready for the next. How long's the book? 6 issues.
Yes, also
Yeah,
6, which is just
getting everyone ready for the next 5.
which is just goddamn shocking to me because I'm like, how many times are you going to start this story? You started it in the free comic book day issue. You've been starting it in the special Action Comics issue.
The last 4 Action Comics have been Leviathan Rising, all prelude build up.
Leviathan epilogue. Literally, this first issue of the actual event told us no new information.
No, it really didn't. It was cool that it actually now that everything is set up, you can't make an excuse that nothing is not set up. Everything is. We can get into the story now. That was cool.
I do like they remembered that Steve Trevor exists.
Yeah, they do that every now and then. It's like, oh, he exists. Oh, he's kind of important, but not.
They remember he exists, and then they instantly make him the most unreasonable person in the room. Where it's like, Leviathan spared me, which means I must be important, which means there must be something wrong with you. I'm gonna kill Lois Lane now. I'm crazy.
Yeah, I like the concept that Leviathan spares people to make them turn on each other, to make that make Steve think that Lois is Leviathan, and Lois and Batman think Steve is Leviathan, and they think Amanda Waller is Leviathan. I like that, but it's played here in a strange way where it suffers from that Bendis talk, where it's it
sure does.
Just say that. Don't say it in your casual speak.
Steve's reasoning for why Lois might possibly be a Leviathan sleeper agent is also really silly to me, because he's like, Lois Lane, you were so close to all the major players in this event so far. I'm like, you could make the same argument about Batman. Why aren't you shooting at Batman?
Or yourself.
Because I know I can't kill Batman. I can probably kill Lois. Also, Green Arrow got to show up again, and that was nice.
Yeah, he got to show up for a minute.
Hey everyone, I don't have a book right now, so if you want to get your Green Arrow fix, I guess you got to read this.
Yeah, it's no. Although in saying that, Bendis is kind of suited for a character like that.
He is. He's very kind of like Daredevil at the time. And in fact, speaking of Daredevil, holy shit, this is essentially a Batman-centric story now, written by Bendis and drawn by Alex Maleev. If you went back to me in 2008 or whatever, when I was reading the collected editions of his Daredevil and being like, yo, in a decade, this dude's gonna write a fucking Batman story and be drawn by the same guy, I'd be like, no way.
That's what kind of sold me on the book, because it's both those people writing a character who's basically Daredevil.
Yeah.
And it's that's cool. That's their wheelhouse. It works. Please don't fuck it up.
They have some hard times there. There's a minute very early on where Batman says a sentence, and it's the most broken syntaxy, hard to follow.
Is he who gave you that gun or something?
Yeah, he who gave you that kryptonite. Also, I'm like, that's a bad sentence.
That's the Bendis casual speak I've been talking. He tries to do it in this way that's like, who would say that?
No one would.
No one just oh, did your husband give you that? Just say that.
Just again, call a chair a chair. Like, I'm not an English professor, and even I know, I'm like, that is a bad sentence. Editorial should really have changed that sentence.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically the long and short of the issue. The heroes show up, compare notes, and then we once again see weird red-faced Leviathan guy who doesn't actually have a name yet recruit another person.
Yeah, which kind of confirms that the people who he's like zapping with that creature thing aren't being killed.
Oh yeah,
So
they're just being taken somewhere.
so that's cool. You're not going to tease that out for a little bit more than one issue.
It also means too that when the event is over with, oh no, you'll get all your spy organizations back. Don't worry.
Also, half of them weren't actually spy organizations. Like Cobra's not a spy organization; it's a terrorist cell.
Well, again, they're spies in the same way like Chaos is a group, or like what is it, friggin' Blofeld's group from 007. They're the anti-spies. They're the ones that fight the spies.
Do they though? Batman's not really a spy, and he fights Cobra all the time.
Yeah, but he's a detective, and like detectives spy. Sometimes Batman watches people when they don't know that they're. Yeah, he's really stretching who's a spy, who's a member of the intelligence community.
Or maybe he was just like given like a notepad of bunches like that's a cool name. That's a cool name. I don't want that one. That's a cool name.
I'm sure that's exactly how he does it. And I want Green Arrow, and I want Lois, and I want Steve, and I want all these characters to be. Oh, and I want the Question. But Brian, the Question literally hasn't been in anything for a long time. We think he might be Judas now. We like literally don't know. We really fucked him up in the New 52. Don't worry, I'm not going to refer to any of that.
It's going to be Vic Stage and Renee Montoya, and they've actually made a point at saying both of them are actually going to be in it.
They did make a point of that. I'm like, all right, I'm down for that. I like those characters, but again, just to fully admit, like, I'm throwing all that continuity away.
Well, that's the point that's like one of the continuities that should be like. Does anyone really like that New 52 Question shit? Not really.
No, where he was like Judas, and he was part of like the Trinity of Sin. Remember the Trinity of Sin with Pandora and the Phantom Stranger?
Oh, that book.
Of course you don't remember that. But yeah, that's an event Leviathan. It is what it is. I just wish this damn story would get started. But yeah, that's what that one is. What else did we have going on this week? That was the DC one. Let's talk about something Marvel, I guess. Ooh, I had Spider-Man Life Story issue number 4.
Ooh, tell me about this.
Oh, it's a goodie, Matt. It's the 4th issue, which means it's the year 1995.
Ooh.
Braveheart is number 1 at the box office. People are blasting Shaggy from their Walkmans. Adam Sandler is still funny, and the internet is slow and unreliable. Also, Spider-Man is in the middle of a massive midlife crisis right now because his wife left him and took the kids the last decade.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He's dating Jessica Jones, though.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's fun. What I'm most surprised about this is like old lady Jessica Jones is surprisingly pretty well put together for a woman who lived as hard as she did and drank as hard as she did. And I'm like, oh, that's cute because we remember that Bendis retconned it in Alias that Jessica Jones actually went to high school with Peter Parker and she had a crush on him and never said anything about it. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of sweet. And then I'm like, oh, we should do those in the movies. And I'm like, oh, no, we can't do that in the movies because there's a big gulf in their age now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine. Just got held back a bunch of years for drinking and fighting.
She's not a good student.
Not a good student. That's fine. We can do some like Mrs. Jones shit with it right now. In fact, her name is even Jones, so holy crap, it works. Are you trying to seduce me, Mrs. Jones? But yeah, so Tony Stark is trying to buy out his company because he's all like Gordon Gekko, greed is good.
Yep.
And in the middle of it, we've got old Alzheimer's-ridden Dr. Octopus running around.
Okay.
Who is a villain now. He had actually been Peter's friend in like the first 3 issues and like worked at a bunch of companies with him.
Okay.
And the idea being is that Aunt May is dead now. And like Ock blames Peter for like the life he could have had, where it's like, oh, I loved Durant and I dated her, much like he did in the main continuity.
Hmm.
And oh, I always felt that you tore us apart. Now she's dead, and now I've lost my only chance to be happy, and I just can't let go of the past, which is a major running theme with a bunch of characters in this. And he says, I'm not only gonna kill you, but I'm gonna kill your clone Ben Riley as well.
Oh no.
And as he's getting ready to kill him and also potentially get a new younger clone body for himself, because we're working that in too,
Okay.
he's like, oh wait, look what I discovered in this old Oscorp computer. Peter, you were actually the clone all along, and Ben, you were the real one. You guys
Oh
got
shit.
switched.
Oh shit.
Just like in the original Clone Saga. And Ben's all pissed off and everything. I'm gonna fucking kill you, you old man. And he actually beats him very easily because he's an old man with metal arms. And Peter tries to stop and goes, no, we can work this out. We can totally fix this. And Ock like tries to kill them, but Harry takes the hit for them because Harry was there too, because they were at an old Oscorp site.
Okay.
And Peter doesn't see this as a bad thing, because he's again in the middle of a midlife crisis. He's totally fed up with being Spider-Man right now. His heart isn't in it anymore.
Yep.
And he's like, wait, but I have a clone whose heart is in it and who is basically me and seems to be aging at a slower rate than me. Yo, Ben, do you want to be Spider-Man? Like, seriously, like, I will sign all my shit over to you. You be Spider-Man. I'm going to Portland to try and get my wife and kids back.
That's awesome.
But before he does, he looks up a dude he gets Jess to track a guy down from, and it's old man Norman Osborn.
Okay.
And old man Norman told Dr. Octopus that Peter was Spider-Man, and he also doctored the test results. Peter was always the real one. But again, much like in the original Clone Saga, Norman was puppeteering everything to try and fuck with him.
Norman's behind it all.
Norman always behind it all. And then he's like, well, I'm going to help Tony take over your company because, my son Harry has a bunch of shares in your company and I know he'll give them to me. And it's like, dude, Norman, your son died. And he's like, wait, what? Yeah, your son got killed because of your plan. And he's so like horrified, he ends up having a heart attack and dying.
Oh, that's great. That's
I'm
so
like,
cool.
that's a perfectly poetic end for Norman. The I hate my son, I manipulate him. Oh no, he's dead. I feel really bad. I literally die of a broken heart. And then the final page is Peter reuniting with his family. And we got 2 issues left, which means we got the early 2000s and then we got now the teens for the final issue.
Interesting. Cool. I love the idea of that, the concept of that book.
It's really solid. And they say Peter's going to be like 70 by the time it's all over.
Oh, wow.
Which I got to think, what are they going to do for the next 2 issues? I'm thinking the 2000s, they got to do Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe toy around with the idea of him getting unmasked at some point.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to get really crazy, talk about the Mephisto One More Day shit. I don't know how they get. Maybe they could. And then I guess for the teens, I don't know what you would do for the teens now. I guess Miles. Like, what's the biggest thing that's happened in Peter's life that's stuck? Miles.
Yeah, it'll be something like that. I could maybe seeing them bringing back Doc Ock, like as a superior Spider-Man.
In some way, shape, or form. Maybe what happened to the Gwen clone, because there's a Gwen clone running around too.
Mm-hmm.
And they again, maybe they'll have to restage the whole night Gwen Stacy died, but it's the clone now.
Yeah.
That would be something. There's a lot of interesting places they could still take this. And I like they change his costume every issue too, with every decade.
That's cool.
This one's all ribbed.
Nice.
Yeah, but so Spider-Man life story continues to be great. Chip Zdarsky is killing it. This is his Spider-Man masterpiece.
Awesome.
It's not even done yet, and it's already become like best, like easy front runner, top 3 best of the year, and it's not even done yet.
Nice.
Yeah, but what else did you have going on, Matt?
I had Silver Surfer Black issue 1.
As did I.
This was a fucking cool book.
Boy, howdy was it.
This is so cool, especially because it's again written by Donny Cates, who's writing the Guardian stuff and a lot of the cosmic-y stuff in like Venom and everything. So of course he ties that all together.
Boy, does he in a wonderful, beautiful way. Where I'm like, holy shit, really? He worked in Null.
Yeah. So we got we sort of catch up with Silver Surfer as he saves all those heroes from that black hole from the was it first or second issue of Guardians of the Galaxy?
It was the first issue. Yeah, they all fell in
Yeah,
the black hole.
they all fell in the black hole. He saves, I guess, as many as he can before he ends up ripping the black hole apart, and it consumes him and takes him to like. I was kind of confused about this. It takes him to like an alternate dimension, or like inside the black hole.
Or something. We
Yeah.
don't know. He goes where no normal human could ever go because they don't have the power cosmic to protect them.
Yeah, and it's covered in darkness, and in that darkness he finds a planet, goes to the planet, and there's like these three really crazy looking beings that look like
Dark Souls
that
bosses.
look like the progenitors from the Inhuman series Royals.
Oh yeah, they kind of do. And again, Donny Cates wrote that too, so obviously he's tying that shit in as well.
So like he ends up fighting them, and he ends up winning because he does like his solar flare ability or something.
Mm-hmm. He creates a small sun in a realm of darkness.
Yeah, and it came at a price because now the darkness is like taking over his hand, and it's crawling up his body. And imagine as the series ends, he'll be consumed by it, and we'll find out it's going to be a symbiote or something.
Well, that's also very reminiscent of the Dark Silver Surfer from what is it? The that Thanos Win storyline, which I think Cates also wrote. So
yeah. So yeah, we learned that those 3 centuries were guarding like a big door, and inside that door was the god Null.
The god of the symbiotes, the forger of the Necro Sword.
Yeah, the one who's been behind all of the stuff that Donnie has been building up, and
basically,
just that's so awesome that he's connecting like all of these stories. Like you wouldn't connect Guardians of the Galaxy to like the stuff of Null, but now he's done that with this book, and it's so cool.
Null is also probably going to be the villain behind Absolute Carnage as well, because that's the person Carnage is worshiping.
Yep.
So yeah. The book also looks great too.
Oh
Trad
God.
Moore does this kind of like graffiti art stuff.
It's graffiti. It's like trippy. Like all the stuff with him falling through like the wormhole and the black hole was really cool. The designs of like the big centuries were really cool.
It's a nice throwback to what Marvel Cosmic books used to look like. And I know that threw a lot of readers for a curve who probably never read that stuff, but that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
Like old Silver Age cosmic shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see this one to the end, and I think this will be the first full Silver Surfer series I've read in a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when he's good, he's good.
He most certainly is.
What else did we have this week? We had Detective Comics.
We did the ending of the Arkham Knight story for now.
Yeah, for now, definitely big asterisks. But man, Astrid Arkham got defeated pretty easily, didn't she? All things considered.
Yeah. Which again, I think this is probably part of a grand plan or something. But yeah, this feels like this is stopping for now. We're going to go tell a story with the Spectre, but we're going to come back to this.
Yeah, like literally a blind Batman tackles her to victory.
Yeah, just blindly tackles her into the big mirror that's like causing everyone to go blind in the city. That's such a villainous thing. I'm going to create a big sunbeam that's going to turn everyone blind.
Oh, I loved that, but I like even Batman had to poke holes in that plan where he's like, wait a minute, back in the park you saved cops. You were an honorable person. Why do you want to blind the whole city now? And she's like, shut up, Batman. You're not my dad. Don't tell me what to do. I'll blind the whole city if I want.
Well, the simple explanation is because she's fucking crazy.
She's crazy, exactly, which, yeah.
Yeah, and again, they leave questions open about like whether she'll actually find out about like Batman not killing her mother, and like what that might do to her, whether that'll change, like make her an anti-hero or something, or
I kept waiting for that turn.
Whether it will like fuel her more or something.
Yeah, I would be interested again because, Tomasi's Detective Comics run has really only just started if she's kind of like the overarching villain for this thing.
Yeah.
This definitely felt like chapter 1 of a bigger story with her, for sure.
It really did, yeah.
But yeah, it was fairly solid. I liked that Batman and Robin got to fight crime side by side again, and that again Tomasi is basically just backdoored a new Batman and Robin book.
Oh yeah, it was so good having them both team up. It got Damien away from that gulag he's running and all that crazy shit, and actually let him just be a Robin again.
Isn't that nice? We haven't had just a Batman and Robin team up in a very long time. And
Yeah,
doesn't it just feel right, like Sherlock and Watson,
yeah.
peanut butter and jelly?
Yeah, and he gets to wave his hands in front of his blind father.
That's pretty funny that Damien has a sense of humor where it's like, Damien, I know you've been waving your hand in front of my blind face this whole time.
And he gets to drive the Batmobile.
He gets to drive the Batmobile. That's pretty fun. But yeah, it was fine. But again, it felt my big complaint is she got defeated fairly easily.
Yeah.
Would have liked that fight to have gone on for a little longer. What else did you have, Matt?
I had Superman issue 12.
Yes, who really destroyed Krypton? Who really cares? Certainly not me.
Yeah, who really destroyed Krypton? Maybe these guys that Supergirl found. Maybe it's like, as I said, like in one fell swoop, Bendis undoes everything Mark Andreyko did in his recent Supergirl run. Like, just basically undercuts the whole fucking thing.
As we were afraid he would.
Yeah. I said, because he didn't write this, he's gonna get like pissy and be like, no, I've got to write something that's bigger and better and undercuts this whole, and it fucking happened.
Boy, howdy did it. I like Superman's reaction. Oh, good, Kara is here. Kara, you've actually been researching the problem. Well, I've sat on my hands for the last several issues. Please, Kara, tell us what you learned.
Yes, like, why didn't I go out with that? Like, because Rogel was trapped in the Phantom Zone. He wasn't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rogel did it. Also, the Trillium Collective did it.
Yeah, and also maybe Thanagar and Rand maybe did it as well, but
and also didn't. The Circle did it because Jor-El was also a member of the Circle.
Yeah, but maybe he wasn't because we never got a straight answer because he can't answer straight. He can't answer fucking anything. Like he always sidesteps it. And that's Bendis because he doesn't have a good reason. Or
because he's got a mystery box. We got to keep you coming back, man. I know the answer. I can't give you the answer. I really hope that's not the new retcon because Jor-El being a member of the Circle and being well aware of Krypton's impending destruction and that, coloring his actions of why he sent his son away, that's a real kick in the balls.
Well, it's not just that. It's that this book, at the end of it posits that Jor-El might not even be Jor-El.
Yeah, it's like, are you Mr. else. Oz? Who are you?
Yeah, it might be someone else. Although that could be just us misinterpreting Bendis's casual speak. Whereas this Batman is just Superman just going like, who even are you? Like in the context of like who his father is, not like the actual identity of his
not
father.
Literally or figurative.
Yeah, like, if he does that again, that's another fucking shot in the arm of Johns, who set up this character.
Now, I didn't read Supergirl. Was Supergirl this week, too? Because I heard some...
Let's talk about that. So you read Superman issue 12.
I didn't read Super because I didn't know it was out this week, though. From what people were telling me, I should really have read that one, too.
Well, you read Superman issue 12, so you read Supergirl issue 31.
Oh, really? Holy shit.
I'm not even kidding when I say that. It's page for page, the exact same, with a different writer and a different artist. And it's just from Kara's point of view, that's the only things that have changed. That's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Except for the only thing that's different is the last two pages, which is where in Superman they head off. We follow them, and we see them go to the Trillium homeworld where Gandello has been picked up and taken there, and they just like bust in. It's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Yeah, it was a shot for shot remake.
Someone was implying to me, though, in the Supergirl book, they seek to imply that Dr. Manhattan might not have saved Jor-El and that he might have saved himself, so we might be writing that out now.
Again, it's like, this is probably not going to have any bearing on anything.
No, probably not, but still, that's a big slide. Hey, you know how you loved Mr. Oz and that whole mystery and him saving him from Krypton? Well, guess what? It's gone now.
Yeah, again, more Bender stuff. Like, if he changes this character, like, that had all this, like, really cool build-up in, like, Jeff Johns' New 52 Superman stuff, where he was just, like, this hooded being to, like, finally revealing himself, and the Titans of Tomorrow stuff, and the stuff that Tim Drake went through. If he reveals that, it's like, oh, that's not Jor-El, it's someone else, then fuck it all.
Yeah, that's gonna be a real kick in the teeth. But also too, it's like, okay, if it was someone else though, we can wash our hands of a lot of the dumbness that followed, because like, well, at least those stories are good, because that's still the real Jor-El, the real Mr. Oz. Because someone mentioned too, where it's like, hey, what happened to his kryptonite eye? Why doesn't he have a kryptonite eye anymore? Is that just an art mistake?
I I don't think it never was in the story, like he did get hit by like shrapnel, and that's why he's got like that scar on his eye. I don't think it was ever like he ever had kryptonite in it. I think that was just like one of those things on the covers where it's like, oh, it looks cool when he's got like the glowing like scar eye sort of thing.
Right, because I vaguely remember him shooting like lasers out of the one eye that had like
on the
laced
other
with kryptonite in it.
the other eye that he could shoot lasers from.
Okay, that's a weird. Another thing that really chapped my ass is, when Jack Zur, who doesn't look like Jack Zur from the last series, he looks completely different now, is telling them that, oh yeah, Jor-El's here, we're gonna fucking jump him in the parking lot is what we're gonna do. And that General Zod and none of these other characters who would have like known Jor-El, none of them are shocked that he's alive when they really should be.
No, yeah, that like Zod of all people should be both happy and probably a bit pissed off that he's still alive and only like revealing himself now.
Yeah, because it's like, dude, you knew him when the planet was around.
Yeah, he was like one of your best friends for a time there.
Yeah, like Zod should be like, wait, what? How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, again, the same thing with Kara as well. She's like taking this like pretty like, it's like
Yeah, she takes it incredibly well when she shouldn't.
Yeah. So same with like John aging up. She's like, oh wow, that's how long was I gone from the planet? Hey, it's funny.
And also too, where it's like, I think Bendis has it in his mind that like Jor-El was booting around space and not Earth for a long time, because
he was in Africa this whole time.
Because everyone in space knows his name and knows where he is and knows what he's been up to. And I'm like, he knows he spent that time on Earth yet in whatever creepy Dr. Manhattan pocket. I guess he didn't.
No, or it didn't think that was pertinent, even though it kind of is.
I think Bendis assumes that he survived but just stayed out in space this whole time.
Yeah, and like he's got that big ship somehow, and yeah, everyone knows the House of El symbol because of him, and knows he's not the one to negotiate and all that sort of stuff.
Because again, to bring it back to Man of Steel, he's like, it is good to meet you all. Motherfucker, they totally met you. Like, John and Lois totally met
like
you.
This big storyline called the Oz Effect where they all met.
Like, he introduces himself and they all act like they're meeting him for the first time, even though that's impossible.
It's so strange. It's like that Bendis dialogue. Like, we're probably misinterpreting it because the dialogue is just so shit.
I'm sitting here being like, can this story be over now? And then I'm like, why does it matter? Because we're just going to go on to something else stupid when it's done. And the thing I keep coming back to is, I don't care who destroyed Krypton. It doesn't matter. It's not the death of the Wayne. Superman doesn't live with the weight of it every day.
This is the thing. It should be a big thing for Supergirl. Like, and that's what Mark Andreyko was trying to do in his book. Like, make it like that's why she's gone out to space to find Rogol. She has a reason. Like, these people killed, and they killed Kandor as well. Remember, he's like smashed that to bits. So like she has a reason to go after him, go after his axe, all that sort of stuff. But then
she has way more dogs in this fight.
But then like Bendis like in his part of this story like comes back, it's like, oh no, she's just like a no character. Like, she just tells them exposition, but even that exposition might not be right.
That's the funny thing. She's all ready to give her exposition, and then Jor-El swoops in and steals her exposition and starts saying it for her.
Yeah. So he knew all along.
He knew all along.
And didn't say anything.
Also, too, it's like they've retconned it before, the destruction of Krypton. Sometimes it's Black Zero. Sometimes, it's whatever. And it doesn't matter because they always change it back.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. So, like, something like this, it shouldn't, it shouldn't be, like, this big of a plot point. It's like, yeah, he destroyed Krypton. Okay, cool.
And I've heard some people defend it to be like, no, they're reimagining and rewriting the DC cosmology. And I'm like, is Superman a cosmic character? Does he spend a lot of time in space? And also, no, Scott Snyder's Justice League is reimagining the cosmology right now.
And how does that, like, reimagining the death of Krypton, like, what does that change for the characters? Like so they learn that like this guy probably killed it. Okay, they can't stop it. We had a story about Superman going back in time to try and stop the Krypton from blowing up, and it ended up with him and Booster Gold fucking up everything.
That's right.
So you can't go back and do that because that's already been done.
Already been done. So yeah, that's the Bendis Superman, everyone. Kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and Supergirl was at least better because it was from Kara's point of view, and it was you're more invested in her because it's all like her stuff and everything. But yeah, again, it was shot page for page, shot for shot of Superman issue 31. Like they have like literally the same art sometimes.
Sounds like that's the one I should have read instead. I also had Spider-Man this week, 23, the big epilogue for Hunted.
Yeah.
This one was interesting. I like how it's like, oh, how's Spider-Man gonna clean up Central Park and all these costumed supervillains? Oh, he's not gonna have to because the cops and the Avengers are there to do their jobs.
I'm hoping that like comes back to bite him with the ass, like because he just like sees, oh, the cops here, oh, the Avengers are here helping. Oh, I'll just leave because I gotta go save Mary Jane.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that comes back to bite him in the ass, like so. I know Jameson's like his kind of friend now, but I hope he gets on like the radio. It's like, hey, Spider-Man has left all this shit in Central Park.
Everyone behind.
Or Fisk uses it or something.
Yeah, really. I do love the amount of competence on everyone else, the cops and the Avengers. No, we were waiting outside the Shield for our chance to come in and kick some ass. And now Captain America gets a great line too, and he rounds up like the trophy hunting 1%ers, and it's like, look, I don't know if this is a fish and game infraction or what this is. You've done something illegal, and you're all going to jail. We'll work that shit out later, but you're all going to jail. And then we got the stuff. I like Vulture got elevated by this, and now Vulture has his own team, the Savage Six. I hope that comes back.
Yeah, like I was really hoping that would happen, especially because like the way they like built him up with like oh, he's like doing all this deception and trickery to like use the power vacuum created by this to like seize power and become a top villain again.
He's being a real Vulture. He's picking over the scraps and everything. Yeah. He's being a bird of prey, which I dig. Also, too, I could see that being a fun future story where it's like, oh no, Vulture and the Savage Six are coming after Spider-Man. He needs to recruit some help. Hey, Boomerang, will you and the superior foes come and back me up? Imagine that, Spider-Man and his superior foes versus the Savage Six.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be so cool.
And then Vulture would be like, man, you guys are a lame ripoff. What is it, Sinister Six? I was in the Sinister Six while you were all in diapers. I hate you young people. That was pretty solid. I like the stuff with MJ's at the end. It's like, nah, she's fine. You know, all the fear was unfounded. You know, she can handle herself.
Yeah, they get the little bug on the window. So, ooh, what's going to happen with this? That's the next storyline, isn't it?
No, I think the next one is actually a superior foe story.
Oh, nice.
Again, either way, it's fun. I do like when we hear the creepy centipede guy, who again still doesn't have a name. In what they say, we can glean a little bit more about who they are. Where it's like, no, I wasn't gonna hurt Mary Jane. I'm not one of your dime a dozen predictable antagonists. She's also an innocent in this. You know, it's you I want to hurt.
Yeah.
Which has led some interesting theories. I asked everyone in my comment section who they thought it would be. One person actually said George Stacy, and I thought that was kind of an interesting theory.
That could be cool. Yeah.
Because it's like everything the centipede guy is saying sounds like a jilted lover, which led everyone to think, oh, well, it has to be Carly Cooper because Carly Cooper's back. No, it could easily be the words of a jilted father to a daughter who Spider-Man had dated and ultimately ended up hurting. And maybe that's why he gets so pissed about the stuff with Black Cat and everything. Like, no, don't you bring another woman into your, into your orbit, Spider-Man. They're only going to get hurt and die like my daughter did. Mm-hmm. That would be fun. I'd be cool with that twist.
Yeah, that'd be actually... That would be really cool and right out of like left field. Like no one would suspect that.
You know, George Stacy, if it is them, that would make sense. The centipede guy being a cop because he knows all the supervillains and he knows like a bunch of stuff that a cop would know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
That would be interesting because like when he talks to Kingpin, they make a solid point of saying that Kingpin recognizes the guy's voice, but not his face.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh. I'm looking forward to whatever it is though. I'm the thing I'm looking forward to most is the people getting upset about it.
Oh, of
Because the
course.
Spider-Man fans are one thing; it's upset about everything.
They're a passionate lot, aren't they? I mean, hey, fan is short for fanatical, let us not forget, for ill or for good, but that's what it is. And then the big final thing here was like, oh, Craven is dead, but we got a new Craven right away.
Yeah, yeah. He ripped off his shirt and like punched a bunch of like pumas.
Stuffed animals. It's like, you know that famous meme there, I am the captain now, I am the Craven now.
Yeah, that's cool. We get a younger Craven.
Who they're like, no, see, he's more dangerous now because he doesn't have the spider curse hanging over his head now.
That's true. That's true.
And he has more of a reason for revenge against Spider-Man for the whole killing his father thing. And I'm like, all right, I'll take this ride. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Craven gets a fresh start. He gets to start over. And then they finally answer the question that I've been asking forever, and that is, hey, where the hell is Craven's brother, the chameleon? Shouldn't he be involved in this? He's an animal-themed villain.
Well, he was busy over in Punisher, and now he flew back over here after impersonating Nick Fury.
Yep. I thought this was his big Spider-Man return, but apparently I was wrong. Apparently he actually had a whole arc devoted to himself in Spider-Man Deadpool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the Chameleon has been way more busy than I thought he was, but for me, this was a big deal because it's like, oh, it's the Chameleon's big return to the Amazing Spider-Man book, the main Spider-Man book since, like, Slott was writing and did a whole story with him.
Yeah.
But no, in truth, he's actually been other places, but I like he promises to essentially avenge his brother and also to kill the whole world. I'm like, all right, bring it on, Chameleon, let's see what you can do. I just like seeing Chameleon. I think he's a cool design.
He is creepy design.
Very that like white, kind of off-brand face, like I'm not quite human.
Yeah, like budget Voldemort or something.
Oh my god, he is Voldemort. Holy shit. Chameleon learns magic and gets a snake tattoo.
Yeah. Oh shit.
But yeah, this was fine. This was a good, solid epilogue. It only strengthens what I've been saying about this series from the very beginning, and that is, it's called Spider-Man Hunted, but it's literally about everyone else who's not Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's not a main character.
No, Spider-Man is such a backseat player in this book, and I think I would have actually appreciated this book more if they came out and said that, but if they called it Craven's Hunted, it might not sell as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Nick Spencer loves his villains. He loves writing shit about villains.
Mm-hmm. He sure fucking does.
And I like him for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Amazing Spider-Man, and that's basically. Oh no, I had one more. How many more did you have?
I'm pretty sure the one you had is the same one I had, but I had two other ones that I know you haven't read.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The first one was The Flash issue 72.
Oh yes, we're continuing the year one story.
Yeah, so this picks up with the Flash fighting his first and what will eventually be his final villain, the Turtle.
Nice. A little bit of connectivity.
Yeah, and so he's obviously still very green, so he doesn't really know how to use his powers, and he inadvertently stops the Turtle when the Turtle like throws him through a wall. He vibrates through it, but he can't vibrate properly, so it ends up exploding the wall. The wall falls on the Turtle. So he does that, and that kind of gives him like the confidence he needs to sort of be a hero again. So he ends up like spending months like fixing his costume and like, I'm gonna make new boots, new gloves, and like a mask and everything and all this sort of stuff. And because of his speed, he's gotten time to do work as well as form a relationship with Iris. And it's just them sort of like going about their day, and then she reveals she's working on a story about a thief called Clive Yorkin, who runs a gang who is part of Leonard Snart's crew.
Right, I thought that name sounded familiar. I
Yeah,
think that's from something.
yeah, and they all wear the Captain Cold glasses that, and they're given the reason why they wear them is that because it masks them from cameras, as well as gives them as well as alerts them to, like, if police know they're there or something, like alarms go off and stuff like that.
And they look slick as hell too.
Yeah. So they've been like robbing places, and Yorkin's been like killing off his crew like after every job, so he gets more of the money.
Naturally.
So Flash goes to investigate, and he finds out where they're going to hit next, and Iris does as well. And Iris approaches them on the street, and like all hell breaks loose. They try and take Iris hostage, and the Flash gets involved when he starts shooting his gun at the people, and Flash stops all the bullets. But I don't think he doesn't do it right, because this is his first time stopping bullets, and he actually ends up getting shot himself. So he saves everyone else, but he himself gets shot in super speed, and he ends up running back to his apartment and starts bleeding out everywhere.
Yikes.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool book. It's a pretty cool book.
Yeah, sounds good. Again, I really feel like I got to pick that up and soon with Batman, Superman coming out and everything, because I want to be, because he's gonna reference shit he wrote there.
Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely.
So I definitely want to be on that one. But that's good. I'm glad that one's so good, and that you're still digging it so hard. I had champions from this week. This was a little short one.
Nice.
What is it there? They fight a group of evil renegade Valkyries who are working for Hell.
Nice.
Trying to cut up South America to be their new kingdom in the War of Realms, and Kamala is like under a lot of stress right now because she's like, I'm the last original champion here. Amadeus went off to join the Agents of Atlas. Spider-Man is still dealing from making a deal with the devil, so he can't come out to play. He's also in a bunch of books he shouldn't be for this event. Was there? Sam's out in space getting his helmet back, and just when she thinks, no, I got this, I'm gonna fight the Valkyrie woman, because obviously Valkyries ferry souls from the dead back and forth in Norse mythology. As soon as Kamala touches the Valkyrie, she gets horrible images of her death, the one that Miles made a deal with Mephisto with to undo.
Oh no.
So she's like, oh no, I died. This is horrible. And she's out of the fight at that point. And it's up to Power Man 2, Victor Alvarez, to step on in and save the day. And he does, in a crazy way.
Oh, nice.
So do you remember how this Power Man's abilities work?
Vaguely. Remind me.
He's all about chi, but not chi.
That's right.
As like in Iron Fist does it. It's more like chi from throughout history powers him, and like he's literally powered by history. So when the Valkyries like stab him with their sword, he's like, oh, that sword's seen like a million battles in a bunch of different realms and everything. Cool, I'm absorbing all the chi from it and all from you. And he grows to kaiju size and beats the shit out of them.
That's cool. He's important now.
He is. I'm like, this is the greatest thing Power Man 2 has ever done. I'm not a joke anymore. And the whole comic ends with Kamala being like, hey, look, until I work through my shit, I can't be leader anymore. I step down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty heavy. And that's basically where that one ended. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little story. I liked seeing Power Man actually get to do shit.
Nice.
I'm useful.
That's cool. I had Batman Who Laughs issue 6.
Oh yeah, have we not talked about this one yet?
No, we haven't.
That's funny. Usually we would start with this one. This was supposed to be the end until they added another issue, although a lot of websites still call it 6 of 6.
Yeah, it's very strange, because I'm wondering, like, what did they rewrite? Like, what did they add?
To make it longer.
To make it longer, because this kind of does feel like an end, but as well as like the actual ending of this is a big cliffhanger for the next issue. So so Batman like lets Last Laugh get activated. Like, we're still waiting on the Grim Knight to put the little toxin, put the lead in the water and everything. But he can't, because Jim and James have been given cool Batman Beyond suits to stop him.
I love that, and I love that it's actually a callback to something that Snyder wrote in his run, where it's like, no, Lucius Fox was working on that when he had prototypes ready.
I was so upset that Jim wasn't wearing his Batman costume from when he was Batman.
I really thought they were going that way, that
or
they were going to have
mech suit or something.
I thought they were both going to have Bat mechs, and that's the way it was going to go.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, they end up fighting them. Well, Batman takes the last Bruce Wayne that the Batman Who Laughs was going to kill away, and he plans on bringing his own pick of the litter to his world. And to do that, he has to focus all the energy into the Wayne Manor deposit of black matter metal, and draw the villain to him, so the villain actually has to fight him.
Yeah, but he can't fight him too hard, though, because anything that gets his blood pumping will turn him into another Batman Who Laughs. So he has to win without fighting.
And it's even better because he's got Alfred in his ear, like, every 5 minutes, like, sir, your blood's now, like, down to 10% real.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't you do it. I will do it. I love to. They even recreate the great lightning scene from Dark Knight Returns, but they're both jumping.
Yeah, that was cool. And we learned that the Bruce Wayne that he's brought, because this whole thing is like the Bruce Waynes that he's been killing are happy, and we find out that they're happy because they compromised on being Batman. They evolved, and
they gave up their obsession,
and because of that, they won, and all their cities are like fine and happy and everything, and the Bruce is happy and Bruce isn't happy,
and Batman Who Laughs hates those Batman because that, like, they gave up, they compromised on who we are, and because of that, even though you're the most miserable Batman in the multiverse, I like you more than all the other ones because you're a lot like me.
And Bruce doesn't agree with that, and he brings about the happiest Batman or happiest Bruce that he could think of or ever will be, and that's him, but as a 10-year-old boy,
as a little kid before all the tragedy hits him.
Yeah, so he's got to defend like little Bruce from the Batman Who Laughs, and he's fighting them and everything. And the coolest thing, I don't know whether you picked up on this, but the coolest thing this issue did was like through all of Batman's dialogue, which is turning into like the red boxes. There's like always one letter that's like white, and if piece all of them
clearly this is a message,
piece them all together, there's a really cool message in it, and it's like about taking the leap and actually like giving in to win and everything and stuff like that. It's so cool.
It's when you see something like that, it's like, ooh, what's Scott Snyder trying to tell me here? He's like Led Zeppelin, I gotta read the comic backwards. But yeah, that's pretty solid. And once again, we end on another all is lost moment too.
Yeah, where Batman gets like more venom toxin stuff injected into him
than ever before. He's more toxin than man now, which leads to the question, okay, how the hell are you getting out of this one?
Exactly, how do you get out of this one? This is a no-win situation, and Batman Who Laughs even says it's like, no matter what Bruce does, I'm gonna win.
Unless it's not Bruce, unless he swapped costumes with somebody.
It's Bane.
It was Bane.
Special guest writer Tom King.
Yeah, it was me all along. And also that this last issue is going to lead into the Batman Superman stuff, so we're not done with this Batman Who Laughs shit by sight.
He's going to be like the main like villain in that book, I think.
Shocking.
Yeah, a character who has no right to be as good as he is good.
No.
Because like under any other writer, he would just be, this is an amalgamation of Joker and Batman. He's crazy, but he's in Batman's costume. Oh no. But
what if Batman was evil, but also a Centibite from Hellraiser?
Yeah, it's such a cool design, such a cool like character and everything.
It also allows like Snyder to kind of get deconstructive with Batman and being like, look, that obsession that is like Bruce's greatest downfall for the Batman Who Laughs, that's his greatest power because he is an inverse of Batman and he takes all the bad stuff and makes it into a positive where it's like, oh, Batman Who Laughs is prepared for everything because Batman says he's prepared for everything.
Yeah. It's also like the book is also kind of like going against the stuff Tom King's written, whereas in that book he's like, oh, Batman can never be happy, whereas this book's all about Batman's happiness, basically.
Yes, that he can absolutely be happy in alternate universes, and that our Batman defies when Batman Who Laughs says that he can't be happy. He's like, no, bullshit, yes I can.
Yeah, it's like night and day.
Boy is it.
Yeah,
boy is it.
It's great. It's so good.
It's good, solid stuff. Good, solid Batman.
Yeah. Do you know what it isn't a very good Batman book? It's kind of like
Is it The Outsiders?
Yeah.
You read it and stuck with it. I didn't even give it the time of day, so more power to you. Do tell.
Well, Batman's not even in this book, and his name is on the title. Bruce is at the start to tell like Jefferson, like, hey, stick in there. You can be a symbol of hope. I'm a symbol of fear. Hope, being a symbol of hope is harder, but you can be it. So go help this woman. She, and apparently like Caliber is like his agent as well. Yeah, that fucking came out of nowhere. Caliber is like a Markovian arms dealer that Batman made a deal with, or he owes Batman something. I have no idea where that came from. It feels like a retcon because the cover shows Batman's team fighting Caliber. Whereas in this book, they actually help him fight the villain, which is Ishmael, which we learn is like Ra's al Ghul's like henchman.
Right.
Because Ra's al Ghul wants this woman for reason to make her into a henchman.
Or something.
Yeah, it's very, there's like little to no story in this actual issue. It's just like all really, really pretty art by Dexter Soy.
Keep in mind, you talked about shit being rewritten. This book was supposed to come out in December and got held back, so who knows?
It feels like it has been rewritten. Like Caliber was probably meant to be a villain, and then now he's a good guy.
You know, it probably was. Hey, why am I blanking on the guy who writes this now?
Brian Hill.
Brian Hill. Hey, Brian Hill, you know we've only been giving you fill-in work, but we're going to give you this main series. Oh, yeah, you're writing a lot of characters and doing a lot of things right now. Yeah, they're kind of earmarked for other writers right now. You're kind of low in the pecking order, so rewrite all your stuff.
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul is in this book, even though we've been told through other books that came out this week as well that he's dead.
Yeah. Although death is really only like catching a cold for Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, but someone like Batman should know he's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He's still alive. He wants this woman because she's a weapon, like her powers and stuff. He wants to like make her a henchman like Ishmael. Which doesn't make much sense because he has Ishmael and probably hundreds of other people who are probably better suited for this. Another thing, the team seemingly works really well together this issue for what little they're actually in it.
Right.
Whereas last issue, they were on the verge of disbanding. Where they were like, oh, we don't want to be a team. There was stuff with Duke and PTSD from Karma and stuff, all that sort of stuff. None of that is mentioned. It's just a really weird issue. Like, it exists, but it doesn't forward the story at all. And it's just art, basically. It's just art.
That's a shame. I want Brian Edward Hill to have something good at DC, but at the same time, too, I'm like, I don't feel bad about not picking this up.
Yeah, I want to like the Outsiders. The Outsiders are a pretty cool team, and this new reboot, like the team members are pretty cool, but like there's nothing in this book.
Again, they're all characters I want to read about, want to do well, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a nothing. Like it was like an afterthought. It's like, oh, we'll slap Batman's name on it. We'll get some sales back.
And I feel like the only reason this team even came together was because Young Justice was going to be called Outsiders, and that also came out around December. But for some reason, they pushed it and moved it around, and now, again, as you said, it's a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah.
Oops. So was that everything from this week, Matt?
That was everything.
Oh boy, what a humdinger of a show was that.
Yeah.
We left it all out there on the field, Matt, the field of podcasting. We played hard in the paint, and now we're here. As I talk about how great it is what we did. I want to thank you, everyone, for listening. I want to thank all the new patrons. I noticed we got quite a few new people there this week. I would read your names, but I don't know if you want your names read, if that's like an invasion of privacy or something. But thank you. You know who you are. I appreciate that. It helps keeps the lights on here, helps me pay Matt for all the good stuff he does on the show. As always, you can listen to this show on YouTube, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you are a patron, you get to listen to it first before anyone else, usually as soon as we're done recording Sunday night. So that's a nice plus. Everyone else, you can get the audio version of the show over on SoundCloud and iTunes and basically wherever other podcasts go. I know podcasts, you put them out there in an RSS feed, and then they just go everywhere.
Yeah, just everywhere.
They fly through the internet, man, like beautiful birds. Yeah, thank you for that. Again, if you're going to be in the Vancouver area, starting July 5th to the 8th, I will be in Vancouver because the 6th, that's the Saturday, is the first ever Geektopia show at the Harbor Convention Center. There, I am going to be a guest. I will have a panel, and I finally know what the panel is going to be, Matt. They finally told me.
Oh, what is it?
It's going to be YouTube centric. It's going to be getting into YouTube. I'm going to be telling my own full, uncut, unabridged story about getting into YouTube and the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows and the creamy middles and how you could do it too. It's going to be like one of those infomercials. I'm going to be like, buy my book and I'm going to tell you how you can do it. It's going to be like a revival too. I'm going to have pyrotechnics and everything.
Yeah, you're going to like hold snakes and shit. And
you beat me to it. Might be hard to find snakes out there this time of year, but yeah, I'm gonna let snakes bite me through the power of comic Jesus.
The power of monetization.
Yeah, I do not die. Look at me. I live. I die. I live again. But yeah, that should be fun. I put a thing out on the YouTube community thing because I forget that's a thing. If you have a question about YouTube, in case, God help me, no one shows up, which could potentially happen because this is the first year this con is going on, write me some questions because come hell or high water, I will record a thing and you will be able to watch it later.
Nice.
In fact, you know what I should do? When I make that video, I should do that YouTube premiere thing where we can all watch it together. So you're watching me do a panel live while I talk to you about it.
You'll be like the first person to ever use that feature.
I know, right? The premiere feature. It's like, hey, you can upload a video and watch it with people. Oh, but don't I put up videos?
I tried to use that on one of my videos. I was like, oh, to see what this is like, and it ended up just like publishing the video then and there, and like, oh well, this is fucked.
Yeah, what a great feature. I'd be better just fucking screen capturing VLC and doing it on Twitch.
Yeah, we'll take away auto sharing and put this in instead.
I'm so mad that auto sharing is gone now.
I know. I'm losing so many views.
I know, that did like 90% of our job for us, the ability to auto share. Hey, this topic right here, this will be a great thing for the panel. Shit that YouTube will just change on you that will fuck up your whole life.
Yeah, no, it always keeps you on your toes.
You see, this panel is supposed to be, how to get people into YouTube and interested, but really, secretly in the back of my mind, it's to discourage people from getting into it.
You're like that. You're like that. Like crazy old man in horror movies. Like, don't go near the house. Don't go near the. And they're like, I won't go near the house. I want to go near the house.
Monetization. You don't want to go down that road. Yellow check marks there. Oh, yes. I've seen several yellow check marks there over by the old Jenkins place. Oh, that's going to be good. Man, so, hey, do you want to get into YouTube now after watching Joel's panel? No, actually. He made it sound horrible. And he himself looked horrible. I just stroll in, messy hair. I'm still wearing my robe from the hotel. Everyone's fucking get this done. Crack a beer. Let's get this over with. I'm actually happy I got tickets to Spider-Man Homecoming because that's actually going to, or Far From Home, because that's going to come out while I'm there.
Oh, good, because I'm going to probably see it the day, we have a show. If we do it on that day, if not, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll probably do it when I get home. So again, if people miss a show that week, that's why. I will try and make up for it by being twice as active on social media and posting shit. So if you lose a show, that's why.
Awesome.
And know that it's not all a vacation for me. I'm working for you guys too. I'm going to be recording panels and shit so you can have fun stuff to watch.
You're not going to be golfing over at Mar-a-Lago or anything.
No, I don't like golf. Do they have a buffet at Mar-a-Lago? They probably have a buffet. I'll eat there.
Yeah, it's just Macca's. It's just McDonald's.
That's fine, I guess.
Cold McDonald's.
Me and all the Chinese gangsters and everything. Oh man, I had a sourdough king from Burger King this week because I was by a Burger King, and I mean that's like finding a unicorn. You got to do something with it. Man, that's a pretty good sandwich, the sourdough king.
Joel at Comic Multiverse was it endorses
Proud
Burger
sponsor.
King, proud sponsor of Burger King.
Proud sponsor of the sourdough king. Which, man, a peppercorn sauce, delicious. And on that note, everyone, I think we officially need to bring this show to a close. This is the show that will not end. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening. We always appreciate it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps drive engagement. And, you know, I'll talk to you too, because like I always read my own comments. I have to. I take great pride in, you know, going through my comment section. So yes, with that, everyone, we're officially done the show.
Officially done.
Officially done. Until next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.